Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Hammer. I'm Toxic, and with me, as always, is Seb and Savage. Just have to fix my screen regions. Apparently they changed. There we go. And I've got a short episode today, as I have to head off in about an hour after the show, so give me plenty of time. So we'll be skipping a main topic. We'll have a small mini topic. We won't be doing the lab, but we will be doing news and rumors, Shamehammer, unit of the week, and hobby tip. But I think, like always, we'll start off with week in review, where we talk about what we've done in the hobby this week. So I'll start off with Seb. Seb, how are you doing today? And
yeah, doing good, cheers. Excuse me. And actually, yeah, managed to get a fair bit done this week. Sarah started basing the first bunch of my models, and I started doing my base painting. Had my first real-life game with Heretical Xenos, and won that rather epically, and it was awesome to actually play with real models rather than on Vassal for the first time. And we had a bit of an epic close game the other day. Just excited about our upcoming Planetary Empires thing coming. So, yeah.
You won your game?
I did, yes.
That's good, because I'm considering you my Padawan.
Yeah, that's two ever now. One against you and one against him.
And now to my old Padawan, Savage over here.
Yo.
I hear you've done a lot of hobby, but first, how are you today? Tonight.
Tonight. I'm alright.
Where the hell you are and what the time zone is.
It is 12:01 AM on the 9th of June 2013.
Okay.
I have done this week. I painted a Baton. I built the Wraith Knight and started painting my Blood Crushers, a Chimera, and some Blood Angels, Assault Marines.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I don't know about you, Seb, but that's a warning. Like, how do you go from doing nothing for like 7 weeks in a row to doing that? I tell you,
I'm really terrified.
He was sick off work this week. Well, half the week.
Yeah, so that usually helps a little bit.
Yeah. So myself, I mean, I think I've probably done the least. I set up 2 different projects with Toxic Painting, so I was busy writing lists for clients and getting those armies done. And not much I can do while I'm waiting for models, so I thought I'd just have a break this week and kind of have a break from Warhammer, so I can get stuck into commissions and painting when all those models show up. Go to Death Corps Krieg army waiting on Forge World, and then another Chaos army. So yeah, so I think I've done the least. So that's first.
Get out.
It's Bizarro land.
Yeah, I think Savage Knight should just leave and never come back.
It's like
leave while you're on top.
Yeah, that's it. I retire. Done.
Win
Go
the
out
Super
with a
Bowl
bang.
and retire.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, pretty crazy week in review. So I think we got a fair bit of rumors and news today. So I think I'll throw you guys over to Seb for news and rumors.
Awesome scenes. So, Games Workshop news. Has Games Workshop been sold? There have been some reports that Games Workshop has been sold, and the announcement has just not yet been made. Right now, they're mostly rumours and conjecture, but since we're hearing these rumours for a while, it's a bit difficult to believe. But yeah, this is a possibility. It could be changing in some big way or being sold, which could have some rather large implications for, well, all of us, really. You guys wanted to kind of comment on that, because it's kind of quite a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of mentioned this before in the show. We've kind of mentioned how Games Workshop are increasing short-term, profits while decreasing their whatever the word is, the amount that they're spending on their business. I forgot the word, but
overheads.
Yeah, like closing stores and making one-man stores instead of having a whole team. But yeah, so it's really not surprising that a rumor like this would show up. But to me, it kind of feels like it's, like we as the consumers and the fans are the parents, and then Games Workshop is like the child who's like, I'm gonna run away, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna run away. Don't push me, I'll do it. And we're like, sure, whatever, run away. You're not gonna do it. You'll be back. You'll make it to the end of the street.
You are really the man with the Games Workshop euphemisms today. So it's a runaway child. A moment ago, it was an abusive spouse.
One and the same. It's an abusive child.
Games Workshop is Bam Margera.
Yep. It's I mean, personally, like, do it. Sure, it could be bad. It could have negative effects on us, but think of the possibilities. Like, it could be better. I mean, something good could actually come of it. We could actually be proud of our hobby for a change, instead of being like, yeah, we play Warhammer, Games Workshop products. And that's what it feels like when I go into my local store and I'm like looking at Warhammer products to buy, and everyone's playing War Machine and stuff. I feel like the the odd man out.
Black sheep.
Yeah, Savage, you don't have the luxury of having a local store. You've only got a Games Workshop. So what's your thoughts on this?
I don't know. Like, it does seem strange what they're doing in like the last couple of months, but then before the show you said that they got a new CEO recently, so
Yeah, I believe so. Is that correct, Seb? They had some sort of change in management at
Yeah,
some
as far as I'm
stage.
aware, it's the new CEO, and since then it's kind of the changes have come from there. Also, the shareholders had a big shift. The biggest ones became the smallest ones. The smallest ones became the biggest ones. There's a whole percentage swing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If all the fans and consumers, instead of buying the new codex and the new releases, we could all pull our money together and buy the company ourselves.
a company owned by like thousands upon thousands of people.
Yeah.
Leave Warhammer United and start FC Warhammer. So yeah, that's interesting. Everyone want to more about that before we move on? Or
I think I've said enough.
And back
Okay.
to Seb with more news and rumours.
indeed. So, while that was quite exciting, this is slightly less exciting. Games Workshop price increases are coming. This is from an anonymous source from the Fayette 212 inbox. There will be will not be increasing the price for the miniatures or books, but they'll be raising the price for products they don't make themselves. So that would be spray paint, and brushes. And these prices are supposed to become effective as of tomorrow, I do believe, the 9th of June. So spray cans going from 12.50 to 13. That's euros, I believe, and paint pots going from 3 to 3.20, and mega paint cases going from 3.50 to 3.77. So that's always fun. How do you guys feel about even more money?
Well, is that based on a certain country, or because I know sometimes different countries have different increases. I know in Australia last year we didn't actually get that many increases. In fact, a few things actually decreased, not by much, and it was like glue. But so is that just like an American price increase, or is that in general price increase?
But as it's the products they don't make themselves, I imagine it would kind of
Just
be
be
everywhere.
everywhere.
But Freud has just pointed out that it's already happened like about 3 days ago in Greece. It's already taken effect, so maybe it is everywhere,
Yeah,
or it could just be Europe.
It's definitely an interesting one. I think it's one of those topics that originally you'll look at it and you'll think, oh, that's awesome, no increase on miniatures, but they shouldn't be that high anyway. So you can't be happy for too long.
Well, I think the change might have already come here, because I went to Games Workshop today and bought a spray can. I swear they were 25 and now they're 26. So
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to find that out tomorrow, today when I go to not my local but gaming store. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, we're not going to get increased in models, but it shouldn't be that high anyway. It's just getting to that stage where I think they can't increase it anymore without, is this the limit that they can go for now?
Aren't some of the new models even more expensive than things equivalent to them in the past a little bit? So, like, they might not have an official bump up on everything, but the models still are quite expensive.
People have been saying a lot about the Wraith Knight, like, it's $100 and whatever dollars. But what is its equivalent? I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
very true.
It's what were people expecting it to be? The same price as a Dread Knight? Like, it's what, like double the height, and a little bit less than double the height. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about heights and stuff, but all I know is it's a big kit. I mean,
well, it's right here.
yeah, I mean, look at that thing. Like, how much you expect?
Showing off what he's done.
Yeah.
Like,
so, that's like a chimera.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's not a good price for that kit, but if you look at it in Warhammer prices, in fancy Games Workshop credits, it's not bad. Personally,
see, I'd probably compare it to more of like the super heavies that they've done, like the Stomper and the Baneblade, because it's massive kit. So
yeah,
that'd probably be the closest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the painting and things. I'm quite happy though because I've just got everything already sorted, so I don't have to buy anything for a while.
Do we know how much? Oh, we actually have a picture somewhere, don't we, for the price increases?
I think it's just the list of things that are.
I mean,
I
obviously, I use Games Workshop paints and Games Workshop brushes, but if now they're going to start increasing these prices, maybe it's time I start looking at another company to get my paints from. I mean, I've already brought a whole bunch of Army Painter stuff, and I've been in contact with Army Painter, and they're pretty friendly. So maybe it's time to look at different paints.
You have to keep this quiet. You'll be blackballed from tournaments and things.
Hey, as long as it's not a Games Workshop tournament, and they don't sanction tournaments anymore, so there you go. So I think back to news and rumors.
Awesome scene. So also in Games Workshop news, Juan Diaz, a fantastic sculptor who did a lot on Dark Eldar and the Blood Angels, and many other things, is sadly leaving. He's heading back to Spain, and we're working for Zenit Miniatures, who create Kensai and Nemesis. But we have his homunculus there.
Yeah, this isn't a picture of him. This is a picture of a model he's sculpted.
Yes,
it's a very close resemblance. So.
I mean, people might think that that's what Games Workshop employees look like. They just sit in dark rooms and sculpt models with their, 6 arms.
It would not surprise me.
The Northeastern thing would have to have a calculator for price increases and things in it as well.
No, but
so, yeah.
I think it's just got more like a random number generator.
That only goes up, so it's not too random. But yeah, it's a lovely model, and I guess it's a shame to see a good sculptor go, but people that work with Games Workshop has gone on to do some pretty decent stuff outside of Games Workshop, so
yeah, and we wish him all the best. So that's that. In Warhammer World news, they've got a ridiculous number of events at the Nottingham Warhammer World over the summer. I won't go into those ridiculously, but they've got a Horus Heresy Betrayal gaming weekend on the 24th of August, which should be exciting, and a big Blackfire Pass on the 1st September, which is a big 2,500 Warhammer Fantasy Battle campaign event type thing, which is all very exciting. And I've been told that the waffles and ice cream at Bugman Bar are wonderful, so maybe if you are in Nottingham, maybe check it out. In Black Library news, they've just released a free Raven Guard short story by Graham McNeil for getting 40,000 likes on Facebook, I think that is. Came out with their emailer today. The Last Chancers, the Imperial Guard books by Gav Thorpe, have just got themselves a new omnibook, which we can see there. To all the people that bought the Corex Soulforge, they've now been offered a free Corex Soulforge wallpaper, maybe to make up just for how awful the thing is. And also the email was today or yesterday, and it's just said that they've finally sent them all out. Like I got mine like nearly a week, 2 weeks ago now. Yeah. So like I'd be quite angry if I did only just got mine and then, but yeah.
Are you using the wallpaper?
He printed it out and wiped his butt with it.
I think the amusing thing is I was already using. Oh no! I've got the Mark of Calf going on. That's what I've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean I have the one that came with that Space Wolf audio drama. It's got what Mokai is it?
Oh, the Death Wolf one.
Yeah, because I figured, I spent all that money on that audio drama that lasted half an hour, so I might as well use the wallpaper for half a year.
Yep, that's fair enough. It's like I don't know, like it's just difficult with the wallpapers and things. Like all these images just exist out there. Like I don't know what the copyright issues and things are, but like you can just find a picture on Google and make it your wallpaper. That is something
but
that
it doesn't have the resolution. You're paying for the resolution.
It's the resolution revolution,
yeah.
Obviously.
When you want to put it as like the background of your TV,
Yeah. This is true. Black Globe, we've also got their live in Dublin event on the 22nd of June, and there's a few tickets still left. On to model news. The collector's models seem to be missing. Apparently quite a few collector's models, including lots of Imperial Guard miniatures, have been removed from the GW website. Whether this means they're gone to be redone in Finecast or they're being queued for some near future release, we don't know yet, but we can all speculate and get excited about Imperial Guard or maybe Finecast stuff, so maybe more or less excited about that.
I mean, yeah, it's exciting if it's coming in Finecast for most people, but the thing that I worry about is ones of Destroyers eventually get Finecast, and I have a whole army of metal ones. It's that's what I'm worried
Then you're
about.
a sucker.
I know, and I should have just waited and spent another 50% more to get the Finecast ones.
Yeah.
They're more expensive. Like, I still boggles my mind that they're more expensive than the metal models.
Well, their reasoning behind it is it's to cover the money that it takes to remake all the molds for Finecast and all the different machines and stuff, but it seems like that would be just an initial kind of thing, and once you paid for it, but then I don't know.
And wouldn't that just be an overhead of theirs as well?
Yeah.
It's an odd one. Other news with things returning, possibly the return of Gene Stealer Colts. We have a little image of the good old Gene Stealer Colts for you to remind what they look like. But Warhammer World is continuing its campaign event, Vidar's Fate, on the 23rd and 22nd to the 23rd of June in Nottingham. But there's lots of interesting things about the campaign. You can use any army from the Codex, Imperial Guard book, or 40k approved units. The second is the rules for the campaign. There are rules for Gene Stealer hybrids and Deathwatch units. So there's Gene Stealer hybrids that mostly come with autoguns and stubbers, with the full stat lines for them. And we've also got the Magus, a level 2 Psyker, gets powers Dominate and Puppet Master automatically, and the Imperious Reaver Alien Hunters. These are Deathwatch, pretty standard Marines, but with going called a Hypnoth. Hypnoth Pattern Bolter, which can fire standard rounds or Hypnoth rounds, which is Strength 3, AP nothing, 18-inch Assault Blast 1. So that's all rather exciting, and people keep saying they want Gene Stealers back, so maybe this could be the start of that. You guys have any opinion on Gene Stealers and them coming back, or?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of been a rumor for a while when everyone started talking about supplement books and different allied books that Gene Stealer Colts were going to come back eventually. That cool. That's about all I can say. Savage, anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to news and rumors.
Fair enough. It just seems it's one of the things you see quite a lot of people seem to be begging for them to come back, so that could be exciting. In other news and rumours, the Fate 212 original site is back up, and hopefully his new site will be up soon. But that's just great because he's now covering everything wargaming and tabletop, not just Warhammer. Another news: the Sisters of Battle Repressor is getting an update. We've got a picture of the Repressor there. It's getting an update for the Forge World. Basically, we know that the armor is going to be 13 on the front, and pretty much everything else is retained. But it's now 75 points opposed to being 50. And this could mean there's more Sisters of Battle stuff coming. They have been one of those ones that they haven't been exactly in an order, but they have been mentioned. They may be coming at some point soon, so we shall have to see about that. But now I have something positive to say about a big decision that Games Workshop have made, which is kind of blowing my mind. Games Workshop decided to put their digital products onto other platforms. I think we've got a picture for this, but I believe it all kicks off on the 10th of June, and rulebooks and codices are on their way to Android, Kindle, and iBook. So
I just noticed it says a new range of products for Android, Kindle, and iBook. Does that mean they're going to be? I mean, obviously some of them are going to be different because of some functions that the iPad does that Android, Kindle, and iBooks don't do. Are we getting the full range, or is it just some stuff?
They're starting with some stuff to see how it goes, but I presume that there's no reason if they're doing everything else for Apple, then surely they would start doing it if it is a viable thing for them.
And because I know with iPad, you can go through the pages and click certain war gears, and it gives you more information. And I assume that a lot of those functions won't be there on some of the other products because of some of the functions that the iPad has that other things don't. Does it mean that it's going to be can we expect it to be cheaper, you reckon, or? I mean,
I very much doubt it'd be any cheaper. Most Android things, and I would imagine most sort of things with Kindle abilities, lots of stuff would presumably, I can't guarantee it, but would have some kind of interactive.
Well, I know when it first came out, and everyone was asking, well, why the iPad? And they said, well, the store is more secure, and the iPad does more things that, that basically the way we set it up only works on the iPad, with some of the videos and 360 views and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they go with it, because I mean, you look at the other stuff, iBooks and Androids and all that stuff, that's a pretty big spectrum of, what they can and can't do. Like, you can get a high-end one and a low-end one that do completely different things, so that's the big thing for me. I think it's going to be interesting to see, if they're going to be any different, if they're going to be like a dumbed-down version. I mean, Savage, you have an iPad, so how does it affect you?
I don't know. I don't buy their digital things anyway, because it's stupid. I'm not a big fan of digital books and stuff like that. But I don't know, I can imagine them being more expensive because they had to. Well, they had to pay someone to reformat all their stuff. It's an expense. They've got to charge us more.
God, if they do that,
it's the obvious way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, neither would I.
Well, now that we've got ourselves all excited about digital products, supplements and things, let's talk about some more supplements.
We just squashed Seb's happy moment there. Digital products. We're like, no digital products.
Think about all the bad stuff that could be happening.
So there's obviously, we all are well aware that the Land and Supplements Eldar is coming out on the 15th of June, although there were some rumours of it possibly coming out digitally today, so you might want to check that out. That could be another plus for digital stuff. They might get it a week early.
Well, here's another negative thing, though. I'm just looking at the picture that we have up there before I change it. It says, why do I need a book just on shuriken catapults? Is that seriously they expect me to pay for it?
Notice that.
Why do I need to pay for that? It's one stat in the codex. What?
Yeah.
It could be a love affair. Do you mean there are many shuriken rifles, but this is mine?
I'll show you my shuriken catapult.
It's crazy. I'm looking forward to when all this comes out and I can spend $10 on a book that just tells me all about bolters and how they're strength 4 and
Definitely, the actual Shuriken Cannon is obviously going to be a more expensive book because it's going to be a slightly bigger picture.
Yeah, and they had to change the picture on the cover, so it's a bit more expensive to change pictures.
But
So
anyway,
yeah,
we got the whatever it's called picture up now.
So that's a bit from the
That's
How
what
to
we were
Paint
talking
Eldar.
about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but there's the How to Paint Eldar and also the Leander's Eldar supplement. The How to Paint Eldar is $15.99. That's interesting. For a digital product. There's also the Altar of War, which is a bunch of missions that provide all information required to play inspired games by the Battlefield Tactics for 40,000 armies. 6 brand new missions, which you can use instead of the Eternal War missions in Warhammer the 40k rulebook. If you or your opponent has an Eldar army, so it's Eldar specific missions for another $7.99, which is exciting. But with all the supplements, it's been hypothesized that specific Chaos Space Marine legions could have their own supplements, and maybe even Black Templars and Loyalist legions may end up having their own supplements. Now, this is obviously a point of contention because, especially with the Space Marines, people want their own codex rather than just a supplement. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, you're not gonna get it. It's simple. Like, some armies require a whole codex. Space Wolves.
My army.
Maybe Dark Angels. I mean, even Blood Angels probably don't even need a full one. When you think about, you go to.
Well,
what makes them different? That's where you gotta go from. Is that a Space Marine chapters? Most of them are pretty much the same, but you slap a different color on them, and then you give them maybe some different tactics, but a lot of them there's not enough information there to make a whole codex.
Well, like Space Wolves and Blood Angels and Dark Angels all started out as supplements. Like Blood Angels and Dark Angels were in the same supplement, like 2nd edition or something.
Like Angels of Death or something like that.
Yeah, so like obviously if it's popular enough, then they'll blow it out into a full codex. But I don't reckon Chaos needs whole codexes for legions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Alpha Legion? You just have like Chaos Space Marines, Cultists. There you go. That could take up 105 pages.
Yeah, $83 for the same thing, but it's got a different color on it.
Like, that's.
It's Alpha Legion.
And that's really how I see it. Is that, and like Savage said, like, get your supplement. If that's popular, then cross your fingers for a codex. You've got armies like Blood Angels and Dark Angels and Space Wolves that have been around for a while in their own supplements, getting their own codexes. What do you want?
I even think that Chaos was originally a supplement. Yeah. I have a feeling. Not 100% on that, but...
Renegades is Chaos
and
Eldar.
It's crazy. Like, how much does some of these Space Marine chapters actually differ from, Space Marines in general? Not much, and it's just enough that a supplement will cover it.
Yeah,
it's easy.
It's just going to be a couple of special rules and a couple of special units.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's just enough to give you something else to buy, as well as some more models to buy as well. Because when you look at new codexes coming out, how many models are actually getting released with them? And a lot of the time it's, 4 models, if that. You get your big guy, your flyer, you get a redone unit, and then you get maybe a new unit. It's just enough for a supplement. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this because I don't agree and I don't like the idea. I like the idea. Give me more supplements. Give me some cheaper version to buy, to add onto this army. It's kind of like DLC, kind of for, like you can have the standard one, but you can have this extra character if you pay a little bit more. I don't mind that,
Well, even
sorry, after you, Savage.
In the Iodine, whatever, how you ever pronounce the Eldar one, apparently the Wraith Knight is still a heavy support, but you can take it as a general HQ or something like that. That's what the guy at Games Workshop told me today. So I don't even think there's anything different in the supplement, just...
Okay, I'm going Eldar.
Yeah.
If I can get that guy as my HQ, I mean, I remember playing the Orc, what's it called? The Orc,
Stomper.
yeah, it's when you have basically the, all the walkers, and, and you can take the Mecha Dread as your HQ, and, and that was awesome. And then I remember also playing back in the Space Wolf supplement, where their HQ, you could just take a Venerable Dreadnought as your HQ. I mean, vehicles that are HQs are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think there's that much difference in the Iodine one, but it'd still be
just
interesting
enough
to have
for a supplement.
Yeah.
I can kind of almost imagine them doing it like they did it for like the Space Marines. Do it for as many of the popular other chapters that don't deserve a codex, and do it the same for all the trade legions. They're going to be. I see a hardback 105-page book of all these supplements coming out, or the limited edition at some point as well, so you can have all the Traitor Legion.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, I would buy that.
I mean, you get the same type of thing with video games, where you can buy a pack that has all the DLC in it. That sounds like a good idea to me. I'd definitely put down money on that.
But if you bought it all digitally beforehand,
yeah.
Wait, you won't be.
It's what happens with it. It happens with DLC as well. You know, you buy the game, you buy the couple of DLCs you want, and then a year later, you see it, and it's like, I can get it with all the DLC, and you end up doubling up. But
Good old Game of the Year edition.
It would be cool to see like just a supplement book. So it's just one book that has like all supplements in there.
Yeah, but I think they'll get more money if they sell them all separately.
Yeah, well, isn't the Iodine supplement the same price as the Codex?
But it's the same price as far as I'm aware, and also they went with that going. They had a limited edition version of that as well, so you could have spent over nearly $200 just getting those two books if you wanted.
Yeah, I'd put half a paycheck on some books.
But we digest. Anything else on supplements, lads, before we move on to Forge World?
No, I think we need to get these news and rumors done, but
we do
I
indeed.
mean, it's all good stuff, so I'm not too concerned. It makes up for our lack of main topic this week.
Yeah, awesome scenes. So yeah, next we have from Forge World, we have the Angry Toxic. I believe it's called the Merworm. Now, these are interesting things. They're mostly commonly found in the dangerous coastal waters of the Sea of Claws, and are bright silver green and highly venomous. When food is scarce, they have been known to assault coastal villages, devouring the inhabitants. There are subbreeds as well. They are said to be one of the few creatures that dares to hunt the mighty Kraken. This is designed by Trish Carden, and it's now available for pre-order for dispatch from the 28th of June. Now, this is obviously some Warhammer fantasy, but like it seems more of like a Man of War type thing. If it's actually a sea creature, I'm assimilating as much 40k knowledge as I can at the moment, but my fantasy is still quite lacking. I know we're not the biggest fantasy bunch, but anyone got any suggestions?
I know, I definitely agree with you that it doesn't look. I can't imagine that on the field with a fantasy army. It's like, starters, who controls it? Like who does it? Like, what side does it fight on? Does it just roam around killing anyone's stuff? And two, it's like, if it's meant to be in the water, I mean, what's it doing on the battlefield? And
Yeah.
three, I was even surprised that this was even sculpted by Forge World or anything to do with Games Workshop, because I think that, to me, the aesthetic of it itself, it kind of reminds me more of those like McFarlane dragons than anything else. Just me personally, it looks. I mean, I like it, but it doesn't look like, if someone showed that to me, I wouldn't say that that's Warhammer Fantasy unless they had a square base on it like this one. But yeah.
It looks like one of them Mexican walking fish on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it does. Yeah, come when food is scarce, it does assault coastal villages. So maybe it could, if there's a battle on the beach or in the coastal town, maybe in Freshwater Bay, there could be a little battle with a merworm. So yeah, we'll leave that there. It's a big, scary, scaly, fishy thing.
Yeah.
Summer Valhalla is coming. The Blue Table Painting retreat event. They've got lots and lots of different people and stuff that's going to be there, including guys from Bethesda and lots of other people representing and doing demos and things. So it's a very exciting few days away, and that is the 26th of August to the 31st.
Yeah. Although I don't want to give Blue Tail Painting too much credit right now because they're not returning my emails. So sent them 3. Still waiting to hear back from you. So I'm not going to give you free advertising in our tiny little show, but get back to me. Come on, you have a company. I'm sending you 3 emails. It's been 2 weeks. What's the deal? Even if you're busy, send me an email saying we'll get back to you soon. We're busy.
Remember when we both traded in stuff, and your project was all set up and already in like assembly by the time they responded to my email, which I had to send like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty hopeless with emails sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But the event does look good. So if you have the money, I would definitely go because I want to go. Take me if you have the money.
Yeah.
Take me with you.
And me.
Yeah. We'll let you on the show if you pay for all of us to go with you to Valhalla. Because it's such a prestigious thing to be on our little show.
For a 5-minute segment.
For a 5-minute segment. Of how you made so much money that you could pay for all that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Okay, so back to Games Workshop. Games Workshop versus Chapter House, where there was a whole IP copyright fiasco.
No,
it's still
you don't.
which is currently still ongoing. But at this point, we just to sum up where it is at the moment, the courts conclude that Games Workshop should pay the expenses that Chapter House incurred in obtaining Games Workshop's correspondence with Copyright Office. Basically, it's either like in some way or form, Games Workshop are not sending them the things they need to send them. They're like trying to sue them and not giving them all the information about suing them. And so it seems that there is a strong indication that Games Workshop's failure to disclose its correspondence with the Copyright Office was deliberate or at least reckless. So, yeah. That's not going so well for them. That's as far as we have at the moment as it's going on. But yeah.
So our next news will be like Games Workshop sold to Chapter House and lost in court case.
Very, very possibly. And we've finally come to the final segment of these news and rumours that seem to have gone on for 300 years or so. Right, apocalypse rumours. Now, we have lots of different rumours about different types of things we might be seeing, so I'm just going to pop through a list of things, and we've got a couple of pictures, and then we can have a little bit of a chat about it. So, there's a large Imperial Walker, smaller than a Warhound Titan, and possibly a Chaos variant, that might have been mistaken for the Lord of Battles, but we'll talk about the Lord of Battles in a moment. There's some missing plastic models that are being created, but possibly held back for Apocalypse release, that including an Eldar bomber, an Eldar large hover tank, the Imperial Guard Hydra, we've got an Imperial Guard Medusa Colossus, and a Tyranid Harpy. The picture we got up there is the Necron Megalith, open and closed there, looking rather epic. There's also the Chaos Lord of Battles, which is a large Chaos vehicle from Epic, with a large tracked body and a giant mechanical torso of a warrior of Khorne. One hand holds a colossal chain axe, the other the large Gatling battle weapon, a gigantic demon engine on par with the Scout Titan. So you can see the possible upcoming cover of White Dwarf with the picture of it there, and that's the original Epic model. Which in some ways I actually think the Epic model looks better than the new model. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No, I agree. I would have preferred it to have the goat head and the chainsaw looking thing rather than, this goofy hand holding this like stumpy little axe. And
You're a stumpy
Just
little
fl-
axe.
It just looks like you flick the head off its shoulders as well. The head's so tiny and stolen from an avatar of Cain, surely.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
It looks
It's
like
just
one of those
corny.
like battle robots that's like made half out of like a lawnmower and a few things
Although-
from your shed.
What I just realized is the placement of what I think is the cannon in the just below its chest area. Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, bad placement, maybe.
A little bit lower and it would have been worse. It
Yeah.
just looks like a belly button shot right now. See, but
Is it true enough?
I reckon like you cut that guy off and make that thing into a tank, and that looks pretty awesome to me. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna throw down the money for it, but just give me the treads, that dozer blade thing, the engine-looking stuff on the back, and I'll get a Baneblade turret and stick it on that. And I like that idea better than this thing.
But somebody pointed out on the piston-y engine thing at the back. Like, if those juggernaut heads are to scale, like that thing is huge. But yeah, I'm not sure how big it is actually going to be. But I really think it looks like the boss you fight in Final Fantasy VII after you finally escape Midgar on the bikes. It really looks like that guy. It's so odd. So that's that. We also saw the large flying Necron Megalith, which is an oversized monolith-shaped vehicle on a flying stand that can open up into its four corners with internal attachments to reveal a central spherical set of internal machinery, which is interesting. Back in March, we already had the rumor about the Dominatrix, which is a big Tyranid thing, but it looks like that's going to be coming. But it doesn't look like the old model. As far as I'm aware of that, we've got some stats for that. Weapon strength 8, ballistic strength 4, strength 6, toughness 6, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, and leadership 10 with a 3-up save. Other things, there's even more. Imperial Guard and Orcs are supposed to be getting an Apocalypse vehicle. It could be some new Apocalypse aircraft as well. It seems that all armies will have at least one Apocalypse vehicle and one flyer. And Forge World will be seeing a Forge World Apocalypse book at the same month that the Games Workshop one comes out, covering all the vehicles and aircraft from the previous Apocalypse books. So yeah.
If all these are true, that's a crazy release. Like crazy.
Yep.
Like this is meant to be what, next month? Is it?
Yeah. Looks like July.
That's crazy. If everyone got their own Apocalypse something and a flyer, that's an insane release. That's some serious cash. Like,
and then there's that tiny little bit more. Apparently there's 3 books. There's the standard book, which would be 60 euros standard price at the moment. The collector's edition book with no prices yet, but a big gamers edition for 200. No, is that 2? Yeah, 200 euros. With something very big in it. So that could be exciting or disappointing or intriguing.
It's usually exciting or disappointing when someone tells you they got something really big.
It's more so disappointing when it's toxic.
And that is the end of the Warhammer news and rumours. So yeah, if you guys want to get into any of the Apocalypse stuff there, or you're just sniggering about your big things, is that what's going on?
Or our not so big things.
200 to see it, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Private shows after the Hammer.
no. Give me a plastic Thunderhawk and some sort of Imperial Titan, and I'll be happy. But that's other than that, like the Chaos one, I think we'll be talking about it later, but it looks a little goofy. The Necron one, I like it more than the Chaos one, and all the other ones. I'm not gonna be wanting to buy because I don't play those armies. But that's just me. I mean, if they can pull off a release like this, that's insane. I don't think I've seen a Games Workshop release that big, if that's true.
Aren't they not do anything for like 2 months after this though?
I think there's going to be there's supposed to be some waves over the summer, like maybe some Greater Demons and possibly some other demons and stuff.
But no like book.
No big proper releases as far as I'm aware till maybe September, October. But then who knows? They have been doing it once a month.
Yeah. I don't like that the monolith that's closed. It looks weird on a flying stand.
So,
But yeah.
so I think it's time for other things now. Or Seb, you had something to say?
Well, just with the monolith, like I just kind of slightly resent having to paint inside as well as outside.
It looks to me like you're either gonna have to pick. I don't know exactly, but I've been looking at the model, and it just looks like there's no way you can fold that thing up and then open it. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks. Let's see if I get a picture of that. It doesn't look like it folds up. It looks like you have to pick one or the other. And I know I would pick the one that's open, even though it's more painting. But,
yeah.
That's just for me. Yeah.
The one that's closed is just like a monolith stuck on a flying stand. Like, it just looks stupid compared to like the open one.
It does kind of seem like, well, if you're paying for all that money, you might as well open it up and show it off.
Totally.
Yeah.
Although it's going to be really confusing if you can only make it one way, but then it has like a rule saying like, if it's open, it's this. If it's closed, it's that. And someone's like, so is it open or is it closed? And Games Workshop, and then the Games Workshop employees in the room like, you could buy two and paint one up open and one up closed, and then no one would be confused.
If you're gonna buy that, you just buy the monolith and then just stick it on a flying stand.
I hope we're gonna see a lot of that. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we good?
We good.
No, I want to do news rumors forever. Yeah, we are good. Let's move on.
So this is just a small like mini topic, and I've posted this on Dice Troop, and that's Raging Heroes Kickstarter for it's like Toughest Girls in the Galaxy or something like that, where they're releasing they want funding for 3 armies, all different themes, which basically look like female Cadians, female Catachans, and female Death Cops. They got funded in 30 seconds. They were looking for $12,000, and they were funded in 30 seconds. In 4 minutes, that was the time that it took me to see the link and then click on it. They had $40,000, and within half an hour, they're up to $100,000. Last time I checked, they were over $300,000. So it's definitely funded. So no big deal if you can't, fund now. They're definitely going to be for sale in probably less than a year. So,
is this you justifying your DS now?
Yeah, it means I can buy my DS now and then buy these later. But what do you guys think? I mean, I'll kind of scroll through 4 of the pitches that I have, and you guys can kind of say what you think about them.
Boobies.
Boobies.
I think they're awesome. Like it's just really nice to see the female equivalent, and it's nice to add some variety. And I'm sure there's people there that like you would just want to have an all-female army because
boobies.
They want to play other things other than just Sisters of Battle when it gives you that option.
Yeah.
And obviously boobies.
Yeah, and then they're nice-looking models, so
yeah.
they're not, they're feminine without being too, over the top.
They're not Space Marines with boobs,
but
like
they're not like
Battle.
the Games Workshop, strange-looking feminine models. But
Space Marines with boobs.
no, definitely awesome models. Great company. So if you like them, go check them out. I mean, it's only been
that thing's cool.
4.
Yeah, that one is freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been like 4 days, so they've still got nearly 20-something days of funding to go.
So is she's like a warpsmith, yeah?
She's meant to be, I'm guessing, a tech priest.
But she's a necro preacher, so I imagine she would be bad.
It's for a good army, but I'm guessing it's just the way they've called it. But you could probably use it as, warpsmith if you really wanted to, a tech priest, anything really. I mean, the one that I really like is that one there. But I don't use medics in my Imperial Guard armies, so I think they're not worth the points. But if I had a model like that, maybe they would be worth the points.
That necro priestess thing, like the tentacle things that are coming up from the bottom, look like Doc Ock.
Yeah, and also there's some proper Tyranid like Lictor.
Yeah,
going on.
Yeah, down the bottom, like Doc Octopus tentacles.
Yeah.
But definitely very cool.
So that's that.
We've reduced Dorothy to tears with how beautiful these models are.
So yeah. So if you are planning on getting some, now is a good time because they are about think you are saving about $10-15 a unit if you do fund them, because they will be a bit more expensive when they actually go on sale. But yeah. So next up we have everyone's favorite Shamehammer, where I think we have a whopping 3 topics to throw in the Shamehammer. So whatever your name is, Savage.
Me?
You had something? 2 things?
Did I?
1 thing?
Did I have something? Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
you did remind me of something.
Yeah, the what was it?
Worthy Painting?
I keep forgetting it. Yeah, that's it. Worthy Painting.
So yeah, so
Reason-
people that don't know, Worthy Painting is a painting commission studio. Basically, they we're pretty well known. They started off with a big following. They grew really quickly, but they opened up a store to go alongside with their painting commission service, and the store obviously was losing money because Games Workshop doesn't like independent retailers, and that affects even just general stores. Had to take a shot at Games Workshop, but obviously it's obviously you can see people like Mini Wargaming and stuff are shutting down their stores because it's just not. They can't do it anymore. Worthy Painting opened up a store. It was losing money, so they had to start taking money from their commission service to cover that. And as far as I can tell from kind of like the research that I've done, is that they started taking money that people had given them for commissions. They used that money to cover expenses in their store. So instead of using this money to buy people's models and buy the paints and supplies to paint up this project, they would take that money and pay off debt or bills or whatever from their failing store, and now they have no money. People still have projects with them, which give Blue Tail Painting some credit here. Blue Tail Painting have said, come to us and we will give you your you'll have credit with us equal to the project that you set up with Worthy Painting. Because Blue Tail Painting and Worthy Painting did have a kind of connection there. And I've talked to people about this, and they said, well, isn't it a good thing for you? Commission store goes under, that's more people looking for, stuff to get painted up, and, they might come to you. I don't think it is a good thing. I think it's a negative thing in general, because it kind of takes away if a big, well-known painting company goes, it takes away the trust that clients can have with a painting, a commissioned studio. And I'd like to, quickly say there that you really don't have to have that fare with me, as it is just myself. I don't have a store. It really is just me sitting in my house painting for you. There's really...
This just in, all recent commission money from Toxic Painting has been spent on a new DS, I believe, and Toxic will not be fulfilling any orders.
Oh, definitely don't say that. I have 2 orders going right now. But yeah, I wasn't planning on putting this in the Shamehammer, but Savage brought it up, and if that is the case, that they have been taking money that has been given to them for commissions and spending it elsewhere to keep their business afloat, which failed, and that's pretty shameful. So
it's shocking.
Definitely in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
really
like
not on.
When I first watched the video, and until he explained that, I felt a little bit sorry, and then it's hard to feel sorry once he said that, once he had explained how they ran out of money.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's your own fault, really.
It's actually what Jimmy did in the OC.
Never watched it.
So I think the next thing in Shamehammer, going back to Apocalypse, and this is kind of Seven. My thing here is this guy. Again, not one that I was originally going to put in, but why not? I mean, I don't personally like it. It looks goofy to me. Savage likes it. Seb, not a fan.
And, yeah,
Don't
other
say
than
it.
the sort of The fun of
Don't say
fancy
it.
nostalgia. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It just looks like it's got the head of an Avatar of Cain put on it, and it looks
Well, then you're not
tiny.
looking at it right.
Well, this is the funniest thing about it. And this is what I love about it, is that there's chaos players out there that are so like into it and will defend this model. I mean, I posted something on Dice Troop saying that, you know, I hope this is a joke, you know, and someone came back and was pretty defensive over this, and I just replied, well, each to their own, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna tell anyone, no, this is a stupid model. You can't like it, but you know.
Exactly. It's all personal opinion. It's all objective, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you like it, that's awesome. But yeah, we just think it looks a bit silly.
Well, it's not the prettiest looking thing out there. It's chaos though. Like, you can't. If you want pretty models, go to like Eldar and, you know, freaking pull each other off over at Eldar.
Yeah, but the chaos can look cool. It's just, this looks strange. It's the humanoid. It's too humanoid and round, I think. I mean, you look at the epic one, and I think even that one looks kind of better than, like, if they just made a redone version of that. Like, it's not pretty, but it still looks less goofy. For me.
Yeah.
But
I think it's gonna be like one of those things where it's gonna look better when you actually see it in person, or a 360 view or something, because it's just like a shit angle of it.
Well, let's hope.
Well, we said the same thing about
I agree.
the Eldar Wraith Knight, that it looked weird because it had like a jutted out chest, but then they put up the 360 view of it and it looked a lot better.
I agree. And like I said, I hope it does. I mean, I'd rather have a model that I like the look of and want to put money down on than just kind of laugh at it every time I see it.
Don't you patronize me.
Although D is saying it looks like Robo Geisha, which is interesting. I think there's some odd disconnect.
Okay,
for me
moving on.
No. Just with just the skull cannon of Khorne and this. There's just like, it's the Khornate battle engines, like Bloodletters and Blood Crushers, sorry, and Juggernauts and stuff aside. They're just a little bit too mechanical and clunky, and not demony and corny enough for me. I don't know, in some ways.
Okay,
I'm loving the delay,
and this is gonna make you forget about it. And this is my third topic for Shamehammer that I haven't mentioned, but it would. I'm gonna throw myself in there for Shamehammer by doing less hobby related stuff than Savage in a week. And I think that's something very shameful, at least for me personally. So I'm gonna throw myself in there. I'm gonna be the bigger man and throw myself in there and do it before anyone else does it. So
you're never the bigger man.
So there you go. So voting. Savage.
Not the chaos thing.
So it's either worthy painting or me.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna put down?
Alright, come back to me. I want to see what Seb says.
Okay, I'm gonna go for just worthy, because they're not. Yeah, that's just not on.
Yeah. Okay.
Just I didn't think Savage would ever speak to me again if I voted for that.
Well, I'll do my vote, so at least it matters this time. But I think I'm gonna have to say worthy painting as well. If that's the case, I mean, it sounded like it from the video and from all the information that I could get that that's what happened. So that's.
It's definitely good to put that balance up there. Yeah.
So Savage, your vote doesn't matter.
Well, now it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter,
Right.
but that happens to be every week. So say
well,
it anyway.
I was gonna put you down, but I'll just go with the worthy painting thing.
Just so you don't feel left out.
Yeah.
Well, to make you feel better, I'll let you swing the magical hammer that makes different noises every time we hit stuff with it.
Now I have to think of a noise.
Just smash your Wraith Guard against the computer. Your Wraith Knight.
You missed it.
I heard a clicking.
What? I was flicking a Coke can.
Okay, that works. Good enough. Unit of the week. This one is kind of one that we all just kind of came to an agreement with.
And it's the Chaos Super Heavy.
No. But it is Chaos, and it's Chaos Spawn. It's definitely a unit that I've definitely praised it on Dice Troop in articles, multiple articles now. I think we've mentioned it on the show before. Seb has played his first game with some. Savage has played a few games with them, and I've never seen them disappoint. And can we agree here that these guys are definitely one of the better units in the Codex?
Definitely.
Definitely. I would never have taken...
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, until Savage gave them to me, and now that I've had them, I won't be letting go.
Yeah. They're a scary unit. They don't have an armor save, so that kind of throws people off. But you throw Mark and Nurgle on, you're going at toughness 6. You're moving across the table at some serious speed, and you can do some damage when you get into combat. I mean, at toughness 6, you're not getting instant killed by anything because nothing can get. There's nothing can go at strength 12. So the only thing instantly killing you would be stuff like force weapons. But by that time, you're in combat and killing them. I mean, Seb came up against a force weapon, and from my Rune Priest, and he didn't even think about it. The Rune Priest ran off the board.
This is true. You got your D6 attacks and your D3 random abilities. It's a fun thing as well because it's not always going to be the same. And one time you're going to roll a 1, and that's going to be a bad spawn. But when you roll a 6, happy days.
But most of the time they're tough enough to survive that bad roll. Most of the time, Savage, you're the experienced Chaos player here, and you've used them a fair bit. How do you run them? Obviously with the Mark and Nurgle, but do you throw anything with them?
I've ran him with a Chaos Lord before, and that buffs him out. So, like, if you've got a decent Lord or like a special character that you want to get somewhere, you can stick him with them. But then they lose their 12-inch move. So
unless you're putting a bike or a jump pack or a juggernaut or something like that on the Lord.
Yeah, something like that. But then with their 12-inch move, I believe they ignore cover.
They ignore it, but I think they have to roll as if it was like dangerous. But but still, they're fast. There's nothing slowing them down. I remember when you did actually play them with a Lord on foot, you don't even notice that they're not going that fast, because as soon as the Lord is basically with them until they're in range to charge or anything like that, and the Lord just lets those spawn go. They plow into a unit, and then the Lord can go wherever he wants because he's safe by then. It's definitely a nice unit to protect squishy HQs, or it's just a nice unit.
Yeah, it's definitely good, especially run 5 of them in a squad. Like, max out the squad.
It's not even that much.
No.
I think the most you can spend on that squad is 180 points.
Yeah, it's like 50. You'll have 15 wounds, all at toughness 6 if you give them Mark and Nurgle, which is insane.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have a save, like, they're crazy.
That's what I said. That does put people off. Because it did kind of put me off before, but then it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And kind of, I've followed both your tips from the other day. I've got my 5 going to be running up just to kind of get in to rip everything apart, and I've got 3 just looking after the Lord to do the detach and assault.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's say they were toughness 4 and they had a 5-up save. That is by far worse. If they had the 4-up save, I mean a 5-up save, even a 4-up save in toughness 4, because now those strength 4 shots are wounding you on a 4, so you're rolling more for your saves, so you're eventually going to fail. Whereas if you're getting shot at with toughness 4 and strength 4 and you have toughness 6, there's not as that many wounds that are going to be dealt to you, so you're going to lose them every time you get one dealt to you. But I mean, stick and cover, that's going to stop it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of the best improved from the last codex.
Yes.
Like the last codex, you wouldn't even think about taking them. Like you just skip straight over them, and that's what I did when we got the new codex. And then me and Toxic were joking around saying, "Oh, Spawn, see how stupid they still are." And we read the rules, and they were insane. So
Yeah. So
It's like they are like literally the most varied thing on the board. Like physically, how they like how the rules work and everything. You can't get more varied than that.
mhm.
yeah, and it's good when you're coming up against people because, like, no one used them in the last codex, and I don't see many people still using them now. So people would kind of ignore them or just shrug them off as something that they could squash easy, and then
Oh yeah, definitely. If you
Yes.
think that they're weak and you ignore them for too long, they're on you turn 2. They're on you turn 3. You don't have
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of turns to shoot at them before they're chewing through your guys.
no. So like you come up against majority of people and they'll just shrug them off. Aim for like your tank or like your Helldrake or something like that, and by the time that they've finally got their attention, it's too late. They're already
It's
smashed in face.
it's a difficult unit to shoot at as well, because what do you fire at them? Do you fire spam, bolters? I mean, it's only strength 4 against toughness 6. You're not going to do much, even when they don't have a save. But then, on the other hand, do you waste las cannons and missile launches when you might only have, 2, 3, maybe max 5? You're only going to be doing, 1 wound. It's not going to instant kill anything. So they're also a hard unit to, like, well, what do I take him down with? What do I shoot them with? Plasmas are a good one, but even then, it's difficult to get the numbers. So they're an interesting unit.
Yeah, I think in one of the games with you spent nearly your entire shooting at them, and you only killed like one and took 1 or 2 wounds off the other one.
Yeah, I mean, when I versed Seb, I fired 5 rockets in there. I killed 1, wounded another one. I think I fired, some of that again. I think they got to me. I had killed like 2, then like 3 shredded my long fangs, and then they tried to attack my grey hunters, and eventually just kind of overwhelmed them by numbers. But I had a couple of lucky rolls. But, yeah, so good unit. Last words on them before we move on.
Take as many as you can.
They're a good fast attack choice. So if you don't have anything else, that's the choice you should go with.
That's the only thing quickly is that you might want to take a Helldrake as well.
Yeah.
But even then, I usually only take 1 Helldrake, so that still gives you 2 spots, which you can have up to 10 because their max is 5. So
All right.
Yeah, I'm rocking 8 with my Helldrake. So yeah.
So moving on, we
Good
got
times.
the hobby tip, and this will be our last thing before we head off. This was meant to be a shorter show, but we're
I was just thinking that.
we're getting on. So hobby tip. This is one that this is for beginner players and even more experienced players that are teaching beginner players, and it's something that I've used, which I find to great effect. And if Savage tries to argue with me here about it, then he's condemning himself, because it's basically a way of teaching people the game. When you're teaching new players the game, there's a habit of going easy on them, which I don't think that helps anyone. So the way that I teach the game to people is I'll play a game normally. I will do what I can to win, but I'll tell them what they can do to win, and I'll make sure I teach them the rules. So they're learning the rules, but they're also learning how to play at this kind of level. So this is not going to be for everyone, because I know a lot of people can't get into a game if they're just getting destroyed every time. You really have to have the want to play this game and to play at that level. And I know when Savage got back into the game, he didn't know the rules too well. Because when he left the game, it was when we were just learning the rules. So when he came back, I'd already learned the rules, and we were playing games, and you're just getting destroyed game after game after game. But eventually you reach that stage where you know the rules because you're getting taught the rules, but you also know how to play at that level. Instead of knowing the rules, and then you got to make that step to playing at a different level. So the hobby tip is, I would say, is, if you're learning, make sure you're still playing at a high level, but learning the rules. It's a difficult one, and it's not going to be for everyone. But I have to say, and Savage, can you agree with me that it helped you better to get better faster? Playing
It does.
against me, or
And yeah, when I first got back, like I was just getting smashed, but at the same time, it gave me more drive to learn the rules, to learn out how to make units more effective. It really gave me like a strive to beat you.
Yeah.
And then like that's the same thing when I taught my brother in that. Like I gave him one game. One of the first games I gave him, I made like a little bit easier and went a little bit easier, but then that was just the first game to kind of get him into it because it was more about rules than winning and losing. And then after that, I kind of just built how I would normally build an army. But then, like you said, give him tips and stuff on what's best to do and what's best to.
Yeah. There's a difference because like when you're in a tournament scene or a competitive scene, when you're playing against someone that knows the rules and you see that they forget something or they don't do a tactic that they should do, you shouldn't tell them. If they're your opponent, they're your equal, and they don't do and they do a tactical mistake, that's part of the game. But on the other hand, if it's a new player that's making a tactical mistake because they don't know the rules so well or they don't know how the game works so well, definitely tell them.
But then crush them and make them pee their pants.
See, the funny thing about that is, in that game I was told to go easy, so I was actually going easy in that game. It's
Wait, what was your list again for that though?
It was all Terminators, but but there's a difference between playing all Terminators aggressively, and I was dropping my drop pods back, away from guys so they couldn't shoot their plasmas first turn, and it had nothing to do with me. The kid just drank a lot of water.
I've managed to hold no water so far, so yeah.
So hobby tip 2: make sure you go toilet before you have a game of Warhammer, just in case. Or you'll ruin someone's reputation if you pee during their game. And embarrass yourself. No, but definitely, it's definitely something to think about when you are getting, when you are new to the game or you are teaching someone. You really do have to if you're teaching someone, make sure that, explain to them that that's how you're going to teach them. Make sure they know, make sure they're okay with it, because I definitely think it's not something for everyone. Because people get upset sometimes when they lose over and over again. It happens. It's just a thing. No one likes losing. It just depends on your personality. I know Savage, he doesn't like losing, which made him want to get better. So instead of the game being over and forgetting about it, he'd go away and think about ways how to. Every time it would get to the stage where he'd be like, okay, I want to play this game because I want to try this unit out and see how that does now. And I'd be like, well, okay, and that's it.
And then in the end, it just turned out that Dark Elder just
you just don't play Tyranids against Dark Elder. You buy a new army.
Yeah, which is what I did.
And I stopped playing Dark Elder because they were pretty crazy. But yeah, Seb, your thoughts on it?
It's just one of those things. It's just having seen the list and things you've thrown against me and the way you've played it, just makes you think more about it. It made me think about my list, because before I was like making really just vanilla lists and going, oh, what do you think? And now I'm thinking more like, I see you're taking this, I see you taking transports, I see you taking bigger guns to take stuff out, and I'm like, well, it's going to take vehicles, so I might need some melters and things in there. It definitely helps, because otherwise, yeah, you said it's going to be a whole different thing when the first time you play someone who is going to play seriously. And that, winning and losing is important, because it's a pastime, isn't it? The whole point is to pass the time and to enjoy the hobby. So it's not really about winning or losing, although you want to win, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me how a friend told me how to play, Guitar Hero. He said, start on hard mode, because if you can learn hard mode, then it's easy to drop back. But if you start on easy mode, it's harder to get up to hard mode. So that's why that's kind of the mentality that I have, is that if I teach you at this level, you can always drop back and play a softer game. But it's harder to go from a softer game to a harder game. And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, especially if you're gonna go like you start off. Normally, people start off playing against friends and stuff, so it's gonna be a little bit friendlier and stuff. And then you're gonna go to like your local store or something, and there's gonna be just a random there who's,
Yeah.
could be like a serious player, and they're just gonna smash you.
I'm just waiting for my first game with Sarah and her Dark Angels now, and I will destroy her.
When I was teaching Savage, he thought he was playing a friendly game against a friend.
Yeah.
There's no friends in Warhammer.
Yeah.
Between turn 1 and turn 7, we're not friends.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mortal enemies until the game's over. And then we laugh about the stupid things that we did. But Seb, when you play against Sarah, you need to have like me and Toxic on Skype call, just telling you what to do as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like you want 3 Helldrakes. you want 3 Helldrakes and then ally Chaos Demons, so you can take 15 spawn.
So
just 10 this.
Yeah. So I think I'll carry on this conversation about playing games and move on into kind of the next quick topic before we end it, and this is kind of part of the intro. We will be playing a campaign amongst ourselves, a Planetary Empires based campaign on like a tile set, like an overworld tile map. We'll be playing that, hopefully every week, do some around if we can. But the reason why I'm mentioning this now is because we will be kind of discussing it every week as just another thing to talk about on the show, about how our games went, how the campaign went, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I know Seb, you're pretty excited to get stuck in and play in this game. So.
Definitely. I'm just excited. This seems like Dark Crusade, but in model format, which is awesome.
Well, I know that's what Savage likes about it, because he was a big Dark Crusade fan of the whole overworld map campaign, and when I showed him Planetary Empires for the first time, it was an exciting thing. But yeah. So.
Although now I just realised neither of you are going to go easy on me at all, so I'm just going to get wiped off the Planetary Empire.
Well, the more you get wiped out, the stronger your army gets. So it's there's a little bit of a balancing fact, but not too much. So that's the thing that brings us into the outro of our show. We'll be back next week with the main topic and the lab, and all the other segments like usual. Again, Dice Troop, non-profit, organization. We do all these shows for free. However, on the Dice Troop blog, there's a donate button if you feel inclined. We thank everyone that has done that in the past, and everyone that will do it in the future. Again, I'm Toxic, and with me has been Seb and Savage. And have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Taddy bye.
Tada bye.